Okay. ABC. Hello. Okay. Let's go. Let's go. Hôm nay chúng ta sẽ học tiếp Understanding other artist's image. Let's go. Tắt cái nhạc này đi. Xong rồi. Sẽ bật cái bé. À không, thế thôi.
In this video, we are going to try to understand other people, other artists' images. Now, why we are doing this? Because we can learn a lot by other good artists, and what we are trying to do is we are going to deconstruct other images, other people images, and see if we can find some elements that we know they are necessary to build a good image. Now, those elements are, of course, the focus point first. So we are going to look for a main character of the shot, a main area of the shot you need to look at, and then how they force us to look there. And there's many ways to do that. First of all, we have shapes, so perfect shapes. Like rectangle, circle, etc. We can have contrast, so the difference between a bright area and a dark area. We have saturation and hue, so the strength of a color and the color itself, because some colors attract the eyes more than others. We have guiding line.
Bật cái nốt mirror đây nào. Học hành. Nếu biết có giúp ích được gì cho xã hội không đâu. Let's go.
So strong lines that brings your attention in a point of the image, and then we can have the amount of details, because if you have a lot of details in one area, you are driven to look there more than areas without details. And then we can see actions, or if you prefer, we can say movements. Let's say, I don't know, there's someone walking, or like in this shot, we have the waves, moving on the water. And, we can take a look about that and see if in some way, that thing drives our attention and where it drives the attention. And then we can see if there's any difference, if there is a play on difference. Now, what I mean about that, differences can be everywhere. For example, in this image, we have concrete and we have nature. So, something human-made and something natural. And even this game of differences, it's a very, very valuable when you want to, underline or show something a lot more. Imagine if you have a forest and then somewhere there is a building inside the forest, and there is this kind of difference between the human-made object and something which is not. So anyway, these are the topics we are going to cover, and then we are going to try to check if there is a balance point, and at the end, ultimately, we can check if there is any loop. So if the image kind of brings you back on the on the focus point, I would say the you know if it's balanced in a way that brings you back to the starting point, and you can spend a couple of seconds more on it because of that. Now, a few disclaimer. First of all, the images you're going to look
Belong
at,
to.
they are not from State of Art. We have here, I try to, pick the best artists, or at least, some studios that are kind of different. So they have different style. So Mir is well known for
Khá là disclaimer về mấy cái ảnh này, không phải của nó là
Crazy Stalenhag, which is
Simon Stalenhag.
one of my favorite artists. And this guy is not an archivist artist, and this is not 3D. Everything is painted, even if it looks, sometimes three-dimensional. And I pick him because it's a master of composition, and everything looks so, I would say, possible, even if there's like crazy things like robots, or now this is the new collection of images that there's like this kind of projected videos on the sky, in the sky. So but anyway, everything looks so possible, I would say, and natural, and this is why I picked him. And then I picked Fernando Guerra, which is one of the most famous architectural photographer in the world. And
Fernando.
I picked him because most of the time, when I look at photos from him, they kind of remind me of 3D renders, because those photos are pretty clean and perfectly shot, and everything is sharp, and also the use of people, it reminds me what we try to do when we work in
Body.
Photoshop, when we try to add people on top of our renders. The thing is, he used people as a part of the story, and this is great. This is incredible, because then buildings are made for people, and when you look at the building itself without anyone around, you cannot feel, sometimes you feel not inside the picture. So the fact that we have someone there force us to feel you are there, and also gives you a little bit of idea about the size of the building, because you can relate, you can make proportion and say, okay, this is the height of the guy, so this is the height of the building, or so on. So you see, this is amazing. These photos are great, and that's why I picked Fernando as an example. Now, another disclaimer: this is about judging why they did such a decision. Okay, why they portray the building in this way.
Betray là phản bội à?
Okay, why they added, I don't know, this element, or why they picked this time of the day. And so if we understand the reasons behind why the image is done in this way, we can probably then think in the same way, and think in the right way when we have to make our own image. Not about that, is about understanding why they did it. Okay, the point of this image is for sure this central part here, and I can tell that because I can see very strong,
Symmetry.
rectangular shapes. Okay, so we have a rectangle here, and we have these areas on the left and on the right that push you, as you can see, to look here in the middle. And even if normally what you do is, when you have this kind of lines on the sides, you tend to, keep looking in the middle. Now, it's a little bit weird, but we basically stop here because there is, a very strong contrast, as you can see there. And anyway, the fact that the building stops in this position here, in this at this distance between us and the camera, I mean, there's nothing more after, okay, after here. I mean, there's the ocean, sea, a few islands, yes, but if you think about it, there's nothing important in terms of um, storytelling. Okay, I mean, yeah, I can understand. This building is over the cliff, is basically on on the sea, but I don't care here. I mean, if about the sea, we don't really care about it. We know it's there, we understand it's there, and in the moment you understand something, it's there, and you know what is it,
You will not look at
then
it.
you don't care about it. So the most cool thing here is this part of the building, which is hanging on nothing. Is basically on top of a cliff, and it looks also dangerous in some way, even if it's a positive image, because there's sun, we have a night lighting, and it's a good atmosphere. But anyway, we are on top of a cliff, and also there's someone here,
Cliff
okay,
là
which I don't know,
mỏm đá.
to me looks like, I don't know, a kid, but who knows. And it's we have this sort of difference between what we can feel, which is a good feeling, I believe, calm, and peace. It's a good day, so I feel good. But at the same time, it's kind of a dangerous place, because you know it's a really high cliff. So and the fact that they put here someone instead of, probably, I don't know, here, it makes me feel like they also want to play on this difference about feelings you may have. And who knows if the image would be better with the guy here on top or here at the bottom. It depends on the feeling you want to make other people feel. Okay, but anyway, it's also cool because we have this rock formations basically leaving on top of the building, and these stuff here probably is part of, I don't know, it's part of the project, probably, for sure. And it makes you look here because there's just this cool details. And so it's something that you would love to understand and recognize and look at. Okay, so imagine this building without these rocks on the top. Maybe the image would uh, work anyway, but the fact that we have them, it's a plus. And it's a plus also because we can make connections, and your brain loves to make connections. So for example, here the connection is this. The connection is that we have this kind of rocks there in the sea, and then we have these rocks here on top of the building, and then we have this rock here
Connection.
on close to the camera, on in the foreground. And when you have connections, okay, your brain loves that. It's kind of if you are like a young kid and you can recognize, something, multiple times, and then somebody gives you an ice cream. That's the as a prize. This is how the brain works. You feel good at finding the same stuff over and over. Okay, and let's say that and you know what, they put someone here with a red jacket just in case. I mean, it was too small. This is a nice way. Color saturation is a nice way. I mean, this is not saturation, sorry, this is the hue. Okay, this is the red color that works.
Sao
And
người bé nhỉ?
if you see, it's in contrast with everything else in the image. We have blue color, dark blue color, yellow, gray yellow, and a mix between
Blue white.
yellow, white, and blue, and then boom, we have red only here. It's made on purpose. It's made on purpose.
Có lý do của
You
nó.
know, so this is it. The balance point here. I mean, the thing is, in this image are so strong, okay, that you go anyway here, and then you go back on the building anyway, because the building is kind of heavy. If you look at the whole picture, it's a very heavy and I would say elements. This stuff here, not normally what I think is, when you go with the eyes to the horizon, is pretty difficult. It's pretty hard to go back, on the subject. But the fact that we have, this very large box here,
Dog.
this rectangle, and this line, it kind of push you back here and force you to look at the center anyway. So another way to work with an image like this, I mean, yeah, there is here a small boat, which is there. Anyway, supposedly that we can our habits are to write from left to right, so we basically go from here to here naturally when we look at an image. As you can see, these cliffs in the
Bouncing.
water are on the right, which is exactly what I waiting for, because these are like arrows pointing to the left, and as you can see also here, these clouds are pointing to the left. And so it's a way to say, okay, let's go back on the left and start to look at the image again. And also one other thing that works for this image, this is the last thing I can say, the fact that we have dark areas, bright areas, dark areas, bright areas. So we have this kind of dark, bright, that really works when you want to when you want to get the attention on an area. And if
That's
everything is in light or everything is in shadow, it's you're I mean, that means you don't want the attention there, probably. Okay, because you're getting bored by that area, and there's nothing to see, there's nothing to point at. Okay, good. So let's go back on another image. Sorry. Let's go from for this one, and this one was if you remember the video about the loop. You can see one of the images from our courses about the airport, the one with the airplane on the left, that resembled this one. And actually this image was the reference for that artwork. And in this one, of course, we have the focus point, and we can see that there is a strong guiding line here. I mean, is a guideline made of reflections? Okay, it's basically works on contrast, because we have this white speculars, and then we have dark areas on the sides. So basically, is the same thing of having like an arrow pointing there. And then we have this shape, which is very cool. Okay, and it's part of the building. It's the shape of the building, and it looks like we can draw such like a loop even in here, because it goes like this, and then it goes like this, and then it goes back here, and so is a loop to me. And we have some good contrast also, you can tell. Okay, one pixel is white and the other pixel is dark blue, so it's we have contrast. And also in this area we have a little bit more saturated blue color, which helps for sure. And also, if you look at details, we have nothing here, which means that we don't care about that part. We don't care about that area. There's nothing to see there. Meanwhile, this area is full of details, of course, because it's the main character, and you want to look here. And also, as you can see, there is a nice difference between vertical lines and horizontal lines here, and this is part of the play. This is part of the game. This is part of the, I would say, this is a way to attract and to not get you bored by this by the image. And that's it. It's pretty simple, I would say. It's pretty, it's not simple to make an image like this. It's a natural and pleasant image to read. Okay, you don't have to make any effort to read this image. Okay, and that's good, because then your brain will thank you. And maybe, if I would do this image, I don't know if I would spend some times playing around with
Sky.
a balance point. Okay, I don't know, maybe just a glimpse of moon here. I don't know. It's I'm not saying this image is wrong. I'm just saying that if I had 30 minutes more to work on this image, then I would definitely try to understand if I can add something. Okay, and last thing here, even if it's really dark, there is, I don't know, it looks like a geometrical shape, but I don't know what it is. But anyway, it's kind of a funnel. Even here, you see, you have some lines on the border that push you in the middle. Not necessary probably in this case, but that's why it's important to know post-production, because you can help the viewer to go where you want. And if it's effortless, you should definitely do it. And even here in the sky, you see, you have these dark areas that brings you in here. And now I can see there is also some rails here that gives you this kind of shape. But it's hard to notice at the first glance. Okay, and another thing, last, that really helps to go and look in the center is the fact that we have these speculars on the waves, on the small waves, and they are big at the beginning, and then they become more and more subtle, smaller and smaller. And the fact that we have this difference in shape, in the size of the shape, guide you there. And if you think, it's the same of having stairs. Same
Stair.
concept. When you have stairs, the first step is big, and then the second is a little bit smaller, and then a little bit smaller, and then a little bit smaller, and then with your brain goes up. This is the same concept. Let's
Thấy phân tích cái này hơi nhiều. Thật ra thì bản chất cái shape với cả cái ánh sáng nó lai, tức là nếu mà chỉ cần hiểu đơn giản thôi thì bức ảnh nó đã thực sự hấp dẫn rồi, không cần phải bôi quá nhiều về về mấy cái đấy nữa.
go to another image.
Oh,
This one, it's
cái này
I
mới hay.
mean, if I see something like this, for me, imagine this is not an archivist shot, but it's a movie shot. Imagine this is basically like a screenshot of a scene from a movie, right? I would say that the building in here is not the focus. The focus is the main character of the story is the ferry boat. Okay, is the ferry, and then everything else is basically environment, and probably it makes sense in a shot like this. And if you see, there's a lot of lines, you see,
Hướng
that
vào.
try to drives you here in this point, and even here there's like lines driving you to this point. Trees, the lines from the horizon, okay, and then some lines, they just they go where they go, and it's the building, it's like that, so probably you can. But if you see here, there's also this dark lines that brings you back in the center. And even in this in the background, even if basically they are, I mean, trust me, the first time I saw this image, I
Focus.
I not noticed them. I noticed the stuff here now. In the background, we have vertical lines, you see, pointing down. And they are very subtle, but they are there and they help. And of course, we have same thing here, big waves, and then because of
Small
the
wave.
perspective, they become small and small, and so it push you here on the center. And even here we have strong contrast, as you can see. We have the ferry in shadow, and everything else is basically a mirror, like chrome, so it's very bright. And we have this white line on top of the ferry, which basically helps to understand where
Contrast.
it ends and where the buildings start. And it's very helpful. But then the color gets saturated on the building, and so we have a stronger saturation on the building than on the boat. And it's kind of a way to whisper, to say,
Thì
what,
thầm hả?
probably you should look there anyway,
Thì thầm vào
even
tai bạn.
if the attention
Hãy nhìn vào đấy đi.
it's on the boat. Okay. And there's also a game of differences even here, because the boat is very small, and you can feel like it's kind of probably smaller than what it is in for real. And it looks like a small model of a boat. And then because of the fog, and and the fact that this building is not visible in the entire is in entire shape, it makes this building to looks massive, to looks huge.
Huge.
And also the fact that this building is kind of horizontal, it underline its weight. Okay. And it's a game of differences. So small,
Big, huge.
And then boom, on the back we have something which is massive, right? But at the same time, because of the fog, you know, because of the values, you know, it's like white and almost white here. Um, you know, the importance, they're not appealing. They're not, I'm not saying that they're not appealing. They're not that important to the viewer. Okay, and so that's it. It's pretty cool.
Bước này rất hay.
Let's change the image. This one, I love this one. Now, I love this one because it reminds me of a letter, and it's basically a E, right?
Ý.
I don't know if it's, you know, part of the willing of the architects. I don't really know. I don't care even. I don't care. It's nice that it's visible, and for sure we understand this is the focus point, and the fact that we can understand, we can find a letter in its shape. It's like, you know, having someone patting on your shoulders. Yeah, very good, man, very good. You find it, and we love, again, we love to make a connection, and in this case, the connection is between the shape and the letter he. Okay.
Ông bắt
Now,
đầu là đi
I
dòm mấy
mean,
cái anten này.
contrast is obvious. This is basically, this is pure white and this is black. I mean, it's also very strong. The you know, the border of that, and the fact that we have the reflection, of course, helps, because again we have a connection, and we love that. And that's it. I mean, everything else is just pitch black, and you know why, because there's nothing there you need to look at. Maybe some white lines that, you know, just kind of you know, differ from the lines of the water and the lines of the building. So you see, we have these vertical lines. So, and again, another time, once again, they are playing on differences. Okay, and this time the differences are based on line types.
Đối lập và tương phản. Ồ. Phải video để chúng ta. Video tiếp theo 2.3b. Dài thế.
These one,
phải phân tích.
one of my favorite.
Copy đã.
And I mean, I would say it's one of my favorite because of the color, actually, because I would never imagine to use pink. I mean, probably it's part of the project for sure, but I mean, if someone tell me, Roberto, you know what, the building is kind of pink, I would say, oh shit, I don't know what to do then. And you know, this is amazing. The fact that this image works is amazing, and of course, this is the focus point, you know, the building, and the fact that we have these three colors, you know, cyan, pink, and green. They works amazingly together. And then we have nothing here, no details on the sky, nothing to see there. A lot of details here, but you know what? These details on the grass, I feel like they are so dense that in some way is like not having them. Okay, because it's like a small pattern. It's like a noise. So when we see noise, we don't really care. We stop searching. Okay, we stop to look at the thing.
Nó bảo là khi mà một thứ nó quá dense, tức là kiểu gọi là gì nhỉ? Nó giống cái pattern ấy. Nó kiểu cứ chít mà nó lặp lại. Như kiểu cái cỏ đây này thì mình sẽ stop watching it. Nếu mà nhìn nó nữa, mình sẽ đẩy hướng mắt mình lên những cái chỗ khác, bởi vì chỗ đấy nó hết cái chỗ để khám phá rồi, chi bằng nhìn những chỗ khác.
But differently in here, we have a lot of details, and we have, of course, a lot of perfect shapes first, and they looks all the same.
Beautiful.
Okay, so our brain goes nuts. So, oh yeah, a lot of repetition. I like it. Okay,
Repetition.
and not just about. I'm not talking just about these pink shapes. I'm
Repeat.
talking about these windows. Okay, you see, they look. There's
Repetition.
something similar. I don't know if it's something on the glass or like curtain on at the bottom. You know, we can see there the same thing, and there's also a connection between the color of the sky, of course, and the color of the windows. And see again, repetitions. We have here guiding lines brings you back on the left. You see here, this is our way to go back on the left, to start all
Lên
over
lên
again,
lên lên
because
lên xong đi xuống.
everything here on the building, every small line of the buildings brings you on the right. Okay, and everything big lines, everywhere else brings you back on the left. But this is not, I don't think this is random. Okay, it's made on purpose.
Giống với cô giáo dạy văn đấy.
Amazing image. And also
Cái đấy thì
here,
cũng đấy là một cái
as I told you,
rất là có
we
ý nghĩa.
have dark, bright, dark, bright, dark, bright, dark, dark, bright, etc. And this create a lot of contrast and force you to look into it. Next. Now, this one is a nice example of. Oh, sorry. This is a nice example of repetition.
Repetition.
We have something that looks like the same elements, the same building, and it's scattered all around, and so your eyes will basically jump, depending on the distance. And it also, the same concept happens with the trees, if you think about it. So you see, you have trees, and you can make connections, and you can, you are guided to the center. And also you have the lines of the building themselves, you see, pointing in the center. I mean, if I had
Mày hơi líu đấy.
And one thing I would try to do, probably with an image like this, is to put more space in between the buildings. Now you say, okay, but Roberto, how can you do that? I mean, they are there, you cannot move them, it's the project. But
project.
you can try with a different lens. Okay, you can try with a lower focal length in order to put more distance in between the elements. Okay, because right now these elements, they look on the same, I would say, on the same line. Okay, imagine we are looking at the image from the top, the scene from the top. We are here, okay, with the camera, and then we have these pines here, okay, in front of us, and then we have another line of pines here, okay, this one, and then we have another small things here, 3 plants, and then we have the 3 buildings, and then we have 1, 2, and 3. Okay, think about it. These 3 buildings are basically on the same plane, okay, on the same distance between us and this line. I don't know. I normally like to, make something that looks close to me. So push this building closer, this one in the middle, this one like further away. But it also depends on the project itself, on the environment. Sometimes you can do it, sometimes you cannot. So I'm not judging the image. I'm saying if you find yourself in this situation, at least try, okay? At least try. Now, this one is super cool, and you can tell here there is basically, sorry, there is an ellipse, there is a circle, okay, and what is that? It's basically like a crosshair, right? And is like saying everything worth it is in here. Don't look outside of this circle. And here we have a perfect shape, a triangle, right? And on the triangle we have people, and we have the
Cái đài thiên văn.
observatory. We have the, I don't know, the telescope.
Telescope.
And you know, the thing is, if the circle force us to look, you know,
Vào tâm.
inside
Nhìn
it,
vào tâm.
then also this contrast is vital for the image. See, black pixel, white pixel, everything is screaming us, look here, please. This is the most important part of the image, okay? And then we have, on the left, we have these people enjoying the view, and we have the telescope, you know? So we have a difference. We have a difference between humans and something which is not human, right? And one is on the left, one is on the right. And, you know, these guiding lines pointing on the top, driving your attention here. And so, I mean, now this is up to you what to look at, what you think is a focus point. Something tells me that the focus point here in this image is defined by those people. And I can think about it because, you know, they're so, you know, full of joy that, you know, you can tell. I imagining myself there, and that's pretty cool if an image can do such a thing. Meanwhile, this telescope, it's there. It's kind of, I don't know, looks like it's still, it's not moving, okay, and is looking there. At least this is what I think. This is what I feel. Meanwhile, you have the moon here. So I don't know. Probably it's worth a test to, you know, flip this telescope and look there. I don't know. Just guessing, okay? Just guessing. And the thing is, I mean, it's also a trick. The fact that the moon is so big, all right? I don't think it's possible to make a photo like this. I'm not an expert, but probably with a very strong, you know, telescopic lens. I don't know. It's but anyway, if you do such a thing, this area would be probably unfocused, not unfocused, would be blurred. So I mean, this is a game. This is a trick. Okay, this is basically like poetry, right? And they can do that, of course. They can do that because at the end of the day, the most important thing is if the image looks great or not. So this is it.
Đây là cái điều thằng này nó đang rất muốn nói nhá. Tức là mình cảm tưởng như là cái bọn Mia này hoặc là bất cứ một cái công ty mà nó lớn, cái bức ảnh nó tốn rất nhiều chất xám ấy, thì bọn nó đang đều chơi một cái cuộc chơi mà nó đang sắp xếp những cái hiệu ứng để khiến cho mình tò mò và đi tìm xem cái bức ảnh đấy nó có gì thú vị. Mình đang nghĩ là những cái bức ảnh như này nó sẽ chơi trong đấy rất nhiều. Và ví dụ như chính cái thằng đang dạy cái video này nó cũng bảo là nếu là nó sẽ có thể chơi theo một kiểu khác, chứ đây không phải một bức ảnh hoàn hảo mà nó luôn luôn khen, mà nó luôn luôn kiểu tìm ra cái ý phản biện rằng nếu mà nó thì nó có thể chơi cái cái telescope này nó ở đâu đấy, nó đang nhìn ra đâu đấy chẳng hạn. Đấy thì đấy là cái kiểu chơi của nó. Thì cái kiểu chơi của bọn Mia này nó đang chơi như thế này, nó không phải là đúng. Đâm ra là nhưng mà nếu mà mình không chơi ấy, thì những cái đồ mà mình liên tục đặt vào trong cái bức ảnh của mình, liệu nó, nếu mà không được chơi thì nó sẽ boring được cỡ nào.
Let's go for another example. One I want to talk about is this one. Now this is this is a pretty simple idea, I would say. I mean, I don't want to say that the execution of it's simple, okay? But the idea is simple, and the idea, which you can find, it in many other images online and also on the Mir website, is the fact that we have basically a circle here that project a light on the floor, okay? And so the focus point in this one, but we have a natural balance point on the floor, okay? And you know what? Here we also have a symmetric image and have a natural balance here. Find that project a light on the floor, okay? And so the focus point in this one, but we have a natural balance point on the floor, okay? And you know what? Here we also have a symmetric image, and we love to see symmetry, which is one of the photographic rules, but at the same time, perfect symmetry is weird. I don't know if you ever watched your face with those symmetrical
Không,
app.
mặt mình không
Show your face, takes one side of your face and mirror it on the other, and it looks, you look weird. You look, not very beautiful or appealing or handsome. So you need to see a little bit of differences, even if you have symmetry. And of course, these comes because of this object here, and because of this area here, which is darker than this one. And even here we have a dark point that we don't have here. So you see, we have elements that helps to break the symmetry, even if it's still a symmetrical image. And also we have a little bit of glow here, which helps. And we have this strong contrast. And of course, we have some natural color here of the wood that, really helps you to look there. And of course, I mean, it's something I like. Personally, I like wood. I would love to have a lot of wood in my house. And so I'm kind of attracted by it naturally. And, you can see here, all this line, they are just telling you, they are just screaming at you, at your face, look here, please. This is the important thing, okay? This is the important thing. And then the main thing will tell you, yeah, but you know what? There's a little bit of light going down. So you can just look at there for a couple of milliseconds, just to, start all over again. Also, this one is one of my favorite. And
my favorite hơi bị nhiều ấy.
There is a game of differences here. Okay, so what are the differences? We have green, beautiful nature,
Dark.
with a lot of different type of trees. Okay, different plants. Okay, and then we have human-made stuff, the building. And see, is basically geometrical and non-natural, but at the same time it fits perfectly with the surrounding. Okay, it's not a punch in the eye, even if those crazy shapes are very strong. And this is a a triangle this is a strong line here, another strong line, and nothing here. See, sky completely white. Sometimes we feel like we need to put clouds no matter what, and that's wrong. That's a mistake. You don't have to put clouds if you don't. I mean, if you don't need that, right? And I mean, I don't know if we have perfectly vertical, like you know, we have vertical lines here, perfectly, 9 degrees, orthogonal to the top to the bottom here. And sometimes we don't have to. If the building is very high and we are on the ground, if you don't fix vertical lines, sometimes it's pleasant. Sometimes if you feel small, and it feels more realistic. Okay, and I don't know why, but it's a feeling. Okay, it's a feeling. And if you look at colors, there is a strong saturation here,
Strong.
and this is basically black and white. Other
Desaturate.
stuff here are black and white, and just remember this. Color bleeding. Sometimes we talk about color bleeding. So when we have something with a strong saturation and lines light bounce on it, and so that color should go even on other stuff, on other objects. It doesn't really apply to this image because there is an overcast lighting. So everything is kind of its own color. So there's a very strong difference between saturation on of the trees and on the building. I'm telling you this because normally I see people trying to copy the color from the environment and
Add to the
putting
building.
a little bit of it onto the building, but it's not very realistic most of the time. If we talk about photos, okay? Now let's go to
Lucigon.
Luxigon. Now Luxigon
what name?
is, as you can see, completely different. Okay, it's
Style.
completely different. And one thing that very catch my attention when I look at Luxigon images is the use of the black, of the dark values. And to me, it looks like they start from a black canvas when they want to make a new image, instead of starting from a white canvas. And I'm telling you this because they are pretty. I mean, I feel like that they know exactly how to use
Color.
values, how to
Value.
use light. Okay, it's not. You see in this image, of course, we have strong guiding lines. We have, of course, perfect shapes, and this is the focus point for sure. It's in the center of the image. It's kind of a symmetrical in a way, but we have also here a lot of saturation. Sorry, okay. We have like yellow here, and everything else is just gray. And one thing they are famous for is the use of the red color. And this is bold. I mean, normally red, you should use red with the,
Blue.
with the, very carefully, because you can catch the attention, you can steal the attention from the focus point. But instead, they are so good that they can use red here and there just to, I believe, I don't know if it's the right way to say that or is the right a reason for it, but I believe that they use red, like in this case, to distract you for a couple of milliseconds, to add some points. And you see, you have this, and you have this, okay, and then you have different, saturations of reds even here. And also there is, it probably is a way to
Distraction.
underline their style, okay? And it makes sense. It makes sense. Let me see. This is an incredibly complex image, for example. So, if you had to do something like this, I mean, it's normally not easy because there's so many things in there, okay, that can distract you. That is kind of scary to make. But anyway, what I look at, no matter what, in this case, is the center and these kind of crazy designed staircase. Okay, stairs. Sorry, and I don't know. I feel like that they play this image, knowing that if you fill it as much as you can, then everything becomes some sort of noise. Okay, so if you have a few people, then
It's the
it's okay.
point.
If you have a lot of people,
It's the noise.
then could be a problem because there's a lot of different colors, a lot of different values and stuff, and it could be distracting. But I feel like, and probably I'm wrong, I don't know, I feel like they overdo that. They overfill the image with people doing different things with different values and different colors just to,
Distraction.
build up such a noise. Okay?
Thằng đấy nó bảo là không biết nó có hiểu đúng hay không, nhưng mà khi mà nó put một ít người vào thì nó sẽ là những cái điểm trên bức ảnh và nó sẽ khiến mình mất tập trung và nhìn vào những cái điểm ảnh đấy. Nhưng mà khi add rất nhiều người vào và mỗi người là một value, là một màu sắc, là một tư thế, một hành động khác nhau, và nó tạo thành một cái crowd, tức là một cái đám đông ấy, thì nó sẽ chỉ là như cái noise, giống như cái bức ảnh của Mia vậy, giống cái đống cỏ vậy. Nó sẽ chỉ là noise và khiến cho mình tập trung vào những thứ khác, kiểu như là mình biết đây là một không gian thư viện, một không gian coworking làm việc đi, thì mình biết đấy là rồi, não mình sẽ dừng tìm kiếm cái thông tin ở cái phần đấy và mình tập trung vào những phần khác. Và phần khác nó chính là cái design này, cái thằng đấy nó gọi là design quái đản đấy, nó tập trung vào cái phần này khi mà đây đã là một cái gọi là cái noise.
And so, yeah, you treat this stuff here like a single entity, and you are not then attracted by the stuff because it's just noise. And you can look at this area here in the middle, which is also the area with the light, coming from the top. And these red, it works so well that you can have these red couches, and the image works anyway. And it's cool. It's amazing. It's a little bit crazy, I would say. It's a little bit crazy. And even here, it's a little bit crazy. I don't know. I feel like in an image like this, we should look at the entire space. It's not. I don't feel like this image is made to to focus on just one area like this, even if it's in the middle. Okay, I feel like this kind of situation, this kind of image is made to look at the whole thing. And the fact that we have strong lights, very strong shapes, words. When you have text in an image, guys, you're gonna read it, okay? No matter what. And so, if you have text here, then you're going here and you will read Mario Coffee, which is also a weird name for a coffee shop, for a bar. And it works because you are looking at the entire thing. And as you can see, even here, people are like, a side dish. This basically is not the main thing. They're there. You can see them. You know, it's a nice place, but you don't care about those people. It's just
A noise.
noise in the background. And you can tell because they are pretty, dark values. um, if you look at, what you should look, you know for real.
Lucy Con. Bọn này sống ở thế kỷ bao nhiêu nhỉ?
Now this is pretty cool. This is bold again, um, because I mean, probably is this ceiling is a very important part of the building itself, for sure. But we have, like uh, this is like 1/3 of the image,
Có đúng không?
more than a half, for sure.
Ok.
And for me, this is just a way of saying, look down, look here. And then we have these horizontal lines that should stop you to go outside the image, okay? And you have these vertical lines that basically makes the difference, that create a difference with these horizontal lines, see? And these are like stairs, just upside down. See, the first step is big, and the second is a little bit thinner, and then thinner, and then thinner, and that. And you will look here, no matter what. Even because, actually, once you have 1 milliseconds of your attention here, there's nothing more to look at. I mean, yeah, okay, it's the ceiling is made of wood, probably dark wood. That's it. I don't care about it anymore. I can check here and I can see the lady, reading or no, and then we have a very strong sun there. So of course the focus point of this image is there, and this whole area here, which is a lot more saturated than others, should catch your attention, no matter what. Really, really, really cool. This image is
Really cool. Mẹ. Xong rồi. Không video kia dài không? 32 phút nữa. Võ. Chết giờ. Chết.
See again, strong lines.
32 phút nữa.
That brings
Xem
you
thì
in the
1 giờ.
center.
Đẹp.
Strong saturation. Red colors. This one, this one is the
Vẫn là
same
Lucy Con.
concept of the other image we have already seen here. Same concept. See? You look here, there's an aperture, there's something very cool to look at, and then boom, you have light going down as a balance point. And you can see, these lines just brings your attention in the center. This lady, she is watching there. They are watching there. And then you have this line. You have strong contrast here, and a little bit of glow. That of course helps because it's something cool to look at. Let's go to Simon Stalenhag. Now, I mean, what can we tell about this images? To me, is still a secret how he can handle such a natural feeling with painting. And but what I see, okay, I mean, of course, you can tell there's like photographic rules. You see, it's again an arrow pointing to the focus point. Uh, areas with nothing, okay, and then areas full of details.
Kia là cái O à?
We have a focus point, we have a balance point.
Focus and balance points. Cái này nó nhắc đi
We
nhắc
have
lại liên tục nhé. Để xem nào. Main chart với cả balance point. Nó nhắc đi nhắc lại liên tục
something
luôn.
that breaks the symmetry. You start to see a pattern in all these images, like a way to think, a way to it's even if it's art, it sounds like science, okay? Because we know, we studied what is pleasant for the human brain, and so if you then use those tricks to please it, you know, you won. And saturation, okay, saturation, there is a lot of work on the saturation. Low saturation, low saturation, and then you have this kind of strong orange and strong orange and strong orange and strong orange. You have connections, okay, you have connections between you know, lights and the reflection of a light. You have the connection of, you see, the balance point reflects just behind the focus point. See, it's nothing is random, guys, nothing is random. Lines, stairs that become smaller and smaller and guide you to the focus point. Difference between vertical lines and horizontal lines. Line that goes back, you see, on the left. The character here is looking back on the left. The, you know, water balloon here, I don't know how to say that, is kind of tilted to the left. See? So everything works in, you know, like the same way. This is cool. I feel like the focus point is this one, this time. Because even if we have line that goes in this way and the car, you know, pointing at this way, you know, we have these lines pointing here, but then we have this pointing on the left. This is going to the right. I don't know. I would say that if I could, I would try to just rotate the image anti-clockwise for a few degrees to make this line here to go a little bit like this. I don't know. I would love to make a test. Maybe I will. But I don't understand if the focus point of this image is the sun point there, or the car. I don't know. I like this image less than this one. Okay. I'm not saying it's a wrong image or a bad image. I say that I feel like I like it less. Because I don't understand what is the focus point of it. This is cool. This is, you know, this is pretty cool. Focus point, balance point. You know,
Balance
this time
point.
this is the balance point, and you can tell because the robot is looking there.
Mhm.
And you have, you see, lines going there, a connection between the focus point and the balance. See the reflection, this shapes going into the center. Nothing to look at. Okay, nothing, nothing, nothing,
Noise coi là nothing hết.
and then a lot of details, lot of details. And also, this image works because we have this massive, you know, kind of evil thing there, which is, you
Evil.
know, heavy, and then the
Scare.
robot here,
Nhìn rất là
you know,
sợ
it's
hãi.
kind of, you see, is, it looks like it's scary,
Đấy.
is
Biết
is
ngay mà.
afraid of something. The way he has like the legs and the arms, and the fact that he's looking back, so it means that he's moving away from this point here. So I mean, this is not positive. This is not a positive building, okay? And when you make an image, try always to understand what is the feeling you want to share with the viewer, okay?
Cái này cái này khá hay. Nó nói là cái việc mà cái công trình này nó rất là kiểu to lớn ấy, sừng sững á. Xong ông này giải thích đấy là tạo ra một cái cảm giác rất là phản diện ấy. Cái thằng nhân vật chính này là phản diện rồi. Cái đứa balance point này nó là một đứa người máy, cái nhìn cái kiểu thế đứng và cái kiểu cái ngoái lại như thế nó đã gợi lên một cái cảm giác rất là sợ hãi. Đâm ra là cái bức ảnh này ông ấy muốn nói là những cái bức ảnh kiểu này nó sẽ có một cái sự gợi ra cái feeling khi mà mình xem. Cái đấy rất là quan trọng.
And then pick all your elements depending on that. This robot is not happy. I mean, is going away
Nó không
from
vui.
here.
Nó
Even
không
if
hề vui.
still attracted by it in some sort of. So it's not running away, it's not in pain, it's not afraid of, is not, you know, in danger, but you know, it's not a positive image anyway.
Nó không phải một bức ảnh tích cực.
Look at the colors, okay? It's just pretty,
Cũng rất là u ám nữa.
you know, depressing colors. But that's it. Of course, this is, I mean, some of them are kind of descriptive because these shots, most of the time, they are part of, I believe they're part of image plan for a movie, for storyboard, right? So, you know, this is imagine this is as a scene for a shot, and it works if you think like that. And of course, we have the, you know, we have the focus point, and is looking back on the left, and even
Balance
this
point.
thing here is going back on the left, and we have the sun here. We have this that works as a wall. We have repetition. This is a very complex image.
Complex.
Probably too much. I don't know. Is probably works anyway without elements. You know what? Sometimes you can take the image, put it in Photoshop, select some areas and content, and fill with content aware
Content
to,
CPM5 ấy.
you know, delete those elements and see if it works better for you. Okay, let's look at some pictures from
Fernando Guerra.
from Fernando.
Fernando.
You see, being a photographer is probably way more difficult when it's about, you know, taking the right shot at the right time. And I believe when they go out to do such reportage, you know, they, you know, prepare themselves a day early and say, okay, I should be here at that time of the day. I should be there at that time, and so on. And of course, Fernando asked people to, be there and stay there still to, while he's taking the picture. And in this one, I look at the guy here. I look at the guy because this strong line guides me there, and even this stuff here guides me there. There's a lot of lines, guiding me on the floor, and so even if the center of I mean, we everything in this image force us to look here, okay? Even the guy itself is looking there, right? But then there, I don't feel there's anything worth it to look at. So normally what I do, if this was a render,
Bỏ
was
cái
to
cột đi.
put these lamp here and then the guy here, and maybe the guy can stay there and look at the building, and so you have this kind of loop, because the building get back to the guy and the guy look at the building, and so on, and so you balance it, that's it. I mean, I'm not saying this photo is wrong. I'm just
Chụp
trying
ảnh thì
to
nó khó
imagine
nhiều.
what I would do if this was a render, okay?
Render thì mình tùy biến được.
Some of them are easier to understand. I mean, we need to look here. That's it. Okay. So I selected a few more images from Fernando Guerra, Afton Crow, and Evan Ban as examples. Look at this one. There's something amazing happening in this image. Remember when I talk about connections, about repetitions? Here we have a rectangle, okay, with inside another rectangle and a line that split them in two. And here, I don't know if it's made on purpose, but if it is, it's amazing. We have a rectangle, okay, with inside another rectangle and a line that split them in two. So you see, it's the same thing happening on two different things, and I don't know, it blows my mind, okay? Then we have here, of course, some strong guiding lines, and the fact that we have light inside here, of course, force us to look here. Also, we have this line here, this line here, this line here, and that's it. We have also the reflection of the same window, so it make this part a little bit more pleasant to see and important. Now, if we move here, we can see that we can have an image with stairs, but depending on the value. So in this case, what we're looking at, we are looking here, okay, at this woman taking a picture of a painting, and I'm sure this is the focus point, because actually, even if this guy here is more on the center and it looks like is naturally stronger than the women, the background here is darker than here, so the strongest contrast it's happening here on the woman. And the fact that we have these lines and this it basically creates something like stairs. It's like a funnel, we go down here, we go down here, and even here we basically kind of these are a prevails on this one, and this guy here is going back to the left, and this is again another way to balance the image to start all over again. Okay, also this line here, and the fact that we have painting, always smaller. You see, it's a very cool shot, very very cool shot. Now, in this one, we can tell there are very strong guidelines that brings you here, okay? But I feel a little bit weird about this image, because even if it's a very probably expensive building, and if you are there, you are probably rich. It's a good day, there's sun, you can go there and lay down on and take some sun bath.
Sun bath.
The colors and the fact that this area is pitch black, I don't know. There's a fight inside my head for this image, because it's not positive. Even if it's a nice place, it's not a positive image. And I believe it's because of the choice of the colors, and also the choice of the saturation. Everything looks a little bit sad, but I don't know. Maybe is the willing of the photographer. So, and in this one, I watched this image tons of time, and everything here brings you to the center of the image here. Okay, sorry if I made a mistake. Is looking there, and the boat is looking there. Okay, but then there's nothing there.
Làm đếu gì ở đây?
What we need to look at there. The cool thing in this picture, in this photo, is the guy. And even here, this line is like going back on the left, and now I feel like even the boat is going back on the left. So this is a case where photographers are less lucky than us, because they cannot choose everything. Okay.
Đúng rồi.
And I feel like in this picture the guy is prevalent on the building, and but anyway, it's a cool photo anyway. And I don't know if there's any way to actually make this part kind of stronger. I don't know. Light there. That would be a good idea. Self-explain. Okay, so we have, see, an arrow pointing here, line pointing here, the text here, so you're attracted by this point. You have the guy here in the center, line here, clouds, the sun. Everything in this image is done to look at this place here, of course. And it's probably on 1/3. Okay, remember, rule of thirds. If you you try to place something on where the lines cross.
Cái này thì 1/3 đơn giản thôi.
Sorry. This one is pretty cool. What's the focus point of this image? For me, this part here. Why? Because it's the biggest. Because it's the building itself, of course. And if you look, it looks like, even if it's not a face, it looks like it's facing this direction, because this part is in shadow and this part is in light. So we care more about this part than this part. And so this is looking left, this is looking left, and is smaller, so we go here, right? And then look, boom, the guy is
Boom.
going
lại lại là nó nói cái
to
the loop ấy.
balance. This goes down here, this goes down here. Dark, light, etc. No details, very small details on the facade as a texture. Details here, because this is the important part that you want to, look at. So in a render, this is the area you want to, spend more time on. Maybe you want to do a very good shader, a very good unwrap, a lot of details, maybe in Photoshop, and so on. This one, it's weird. So this is like something. I feel like this is something symmetrical, but as you can see, the symmetry is broken, of course, so it's more pleasant. And and of course, this is the focus point, and we have two guys there. And probably, I mean, because this shape is so weird, I don't know if I feel like these two guys are just like waiting for the bus to, pass by. And, if you think about it, without these two guys, there's no way to understand what this part of the building is actually. So the two guys will help you to define the usage of this area. And of course we have blue and orange. So we have this kind of, fight between these two colors.
Đối lập.
And but you know what, the thing is that we have the strongest contrast possible here, and also these guy is a little bit, it's like moving a little bit, it's like blurred, and that kind of stuff catch the attention for sure. This is very easy to understand. Symmetry.
Xuống đây.
Symmetry, all over the place, and then something that breaks the symmetry.
Đấy, đang định nói break the symmetry.
Without this guy, this image would not work as good as it works now. And of course, the guy is going to the left to balance the image, because your eyes will go naturally on the right. Okay? And very dark foreground to say there's nothing to see here, go further. Repetitions. See, lines going to the right, old people going to the left. Remember, you can't blur old people. They are not running. They will never run. Sorry, it's a joke. This one, see, it's a funnel. You look there, two people here, a perfect rectangle, nature against human-made stuff.
Human-made.
A lot of saturation here. A lot of details, but very, very dense details. So something like noise.
Noise.
Spend time looking here. A very black arrow pointing there. And this black part here works as a wall. So your eyes will bounce back. There's nothing to see there. Nothing to see there. Okay? This one is weird to me, and the reason is I feel like that everything in this image, you see, goes basically here. See, even this guy is looking there, this mountain goes back there, but at the same time this is kind of cut, and so I don't know, probably was forced to make this shot. But if this was a render, I would probably add a little bit of space down there in the image, and I would complete the building as much as I can, or at least a little bit more, I would say. Now it looks very like
Nó đang nói là lẽ ra cái này đang là chủ thể chính, nhưng mà thật ra thì chụp ảnh thì nó lại không có nhiều lựa chọn như là mình đang render. Nó bảo là nếu mà trong 3D nó sẽ kéo cái này xuống, xong đấy có thể đánh sáng vào, bởi vì thật ra là nhìn ai cũng sẽ tập trung cái này hơn, thay vì nhưng mà tất cả mọi cái yếu tố nó đang ủng hộ cho cái này hơn.
cut it out, and I don't like it, but I mean it's just my personal view on the thing. Here, I mean, obvious is a loop, nothing more. So you see, you look at this, but it's also a loop, and the symmetry is of course broken by an element. You see that this kind of a circle, this ellipse is kind of tilted, so the horizon is not straight, but it is a little bit tilted. You see, to the left again, because we want
Cái này thì chỉ có loop á,
perfect shapes at back.
cái này thì đối xứng.
Again, guiding lines.
Chủ thể cái này sẽ là, đúng rồi, cái thuyền.
And here we have also like, the small man and the big buildings. The image looks very, very large. The scene, the world looks very large because there is a lot of fog. So this helps, you should have a strong contrast close to you, and as far as you go, far away, you have less contrast and less contrast and less contrast, and then everything at one point becomes of the value of the sky at the horizon. Repetition, 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 connection. Three, part of the building, 3 birds. Differences, the new and the old. Symmetry. See? Focus point. Let me see. Strong lines pointing to the focus point. Very strong saturation close to the focus point. There is a person there looking to the left. See, this is like a funnel. I feel like that sometimes you can put a curve on top of the images and try to make them very, very contrasted, to understand the basic shapes involved in the picture. It also works if you squint your eyes a little bit, or if you unzoom, right? These two techniques are useful to understand if your image is working or not. Videos on YouTube, when this happens for a couple of reasons. First, your eyes get used to the image too soon. And so if you flip horizontally the image, it's kind of a new image for your brain. So you can see mistakes a lot more. And also, second reason to flip your image, it's going to work if is well balanced. It doesn't mean that it should work in both ways 100% of the time, but it's a good indicator if your image is well balanced. Okay, if it works in the other way, if it's mirrored. Okay, and that's it. So guys, I hope this lesson was helpful in some way. Now, next time you look at image that you think is good, try to deconstruct it, try to understand where is the focus point, how they force you to look at the focus point with shapes, contrast, saturation, guiding lines, amount of details, I don't know, movements or differences, if there's a balance point, if there's a loop involved in the image, if it's balanced or not. And I don't know, probably you can save those images on in a folder and
Drawer.
watch them as references if you want to get back some ideas about them.
Nó bảo là cuối cùng thì xong 3 video dài ngoằng như thế thì nó bảo là từ bây giờ thì khi mà mình nhìn vào một cái bức ảnh mà mình nghĩ nó là đẹp thì thử dùng những cái phương pháp để phân tách, mổ xẻ bức ảnh đấy ra xem nó đang dùng những cái nó đang chơi những cái trò gì với cái bức ảnh đấy để tạo ra được. Xong. Hôm nay chúng ta đã học được 3 video rất là dài nhé. Hôm sau chúng ta sẽ học là mấy 2 video này, xong mình sẽ chuyển sang phần 3 và là phần thực hành luôn đấy. Nghe vẻ thú vị hơn. Nhưng mà 3 cái này xem thì rất dài, nhưng mà mình nhận ra là bọn này chơi nó có nhiều trò chơi hơn mình. Cái này mình kiểu đang không hề có một sự sắp đặt nào. Cái đấy rất quan trọng. Ok, bật nhạc 5 phút xong mình sẽ đi ngủ. Pâng, pâng, pâng. Tan học rồi nhá anh em nhá. Đánh răng đi ngủ thôi. Mai lại bắt đầu cuộc sống. Yêu nhạc của Undertale, yêu nhạc của Minecraft, yêu nhạc rất nhiều, yêu nhạc của livestream. Ok anh em nhé, anh. Goodbye.